Hi, welcome to Festool TV UK. My name's Phil, and this presentation will cover the initial setup of the TS55R. So within the sustainer, you'll always receive your guarantee and the instructions. Plug-it cable, your machine, and splinter guard and attachment to go onto your machine. The plunge saw from Festool will allow you to make clean, accurate cuts in all materials, from softwoods to hardwoods, plywoods and MDF, and also man-made boards which have already had a coating and the finish applied to them. Having a key high quality cut will not only save you time and effort, but also increases the level and quality of the work that you do. So from first use of the TS55R, there's a couple of things that need to be done. With the guide rail system that we work from, we have a splinter guard on the underside, anti-slip strip on the underneath, but the splinter guard will need to be trimmed before first use, and that's what we'll be covering. On the machine, you'll see there's two small green knobs here. These will need to be adjusted to the guide rail before we trim the splinter guard. It's important this is done as the first stage before any material is cut, because then we match our machine with our guide rail, and that is what achieves the high quality results that you would expect from Festool. So we need to ensure that when your machine is on the guide rail, we have no movement either to the right or to the left. By adjusting these cams, we can then make sure the machine is snug along this profile. You do one cam at a time, and that will allow free movement of your saw along the guide system. But you must make sure there's no movement to the left or to the right. And you can see at this point that would be set correctly. I need to make sure also that the saw will slide easily without any extra effort required. So your next stage is to make sure that we trim the splinter guard to suit the machine. And for that we need to clamp our guide rail down onto the material, and we can use a couple of the Festool screw clamps just to slide along the profile, and we can hold those onto here. Put one more. So now we can connect our plug-it cable. And with the plug-it cable, it means I can have 3 or 4 machines out, but without any cables on the floor. There's less trip hazards and makes my working life a little bit easier. So plug-it cable will attach into the back of the machine. And we literally just push and twist, and then we're connected. Dust extraction is a key area. We need to make sure that the sawdust and the shavings that are produced are extracted quickly and efficiently, and that's what we can achieve by also connecting this to an extractor. So I can also run my machine straight from a plug-it hose as well. I can have a separate hose or a separate cable to power my machine. So for this example, we'll use the plug-it hose. And with the extraction on the TS55R, we can either use a 26 or a 36mm hose. 27 will fit on the inside, 36 will go on the outside. So with a plug-it hose, the cable will run all the way through the hose, which means I've got less chance of tripping over anything. On the rear of my machine, the speed control. I need to lower the speed while I'm initially cutting the splinter guard. So we lower this down to 3, and that will allow me to achieve a nice fine cut while I trim my guard up. Obviously, as a plunge saw, it means that we can adjust the depth. So at the front here, we have the depth gauge. FS is working on the guide rail, and the blank is working off the guide rail. So it makes the allowance on the difference on the thickness of the guide rail for me, so I need to do nothing else but just look at the correct setting. All you need to do is to push this in. We can slide down, or we can slide the gauge up. So if you're trimming the splinter guard, I'm working on FS, then we need to go to approximately 6mm. We just need the blade just to trim through the guard, and then we'll be ready for carrying on with our work. So the first cut, we push with our thumb, in with our index finger, let the machine build up speed, then we can plunge into the splinter guard, and we can then trim to size. So now my guide rail will suit my saw, and we can achieve fine cuts. So the next stage is to move the guide rail over, and we can just trim a piece of veneered board, and we'll also at this stage fit the splinter guard onto our machine to show you the quality of the cut that we can achieve. So the machine comes supplied with a viewing window, so you can see where the blade position is at all times. And to remove this, we just take this away, and we can use a green splinter guard that will allow a splinter-free cut on both sides of the material that we're working on. Along here, when the blade is plunged, a small cut is made. So on the upstroke of the blade, we're not breaking material out at that point in time. And all we need to do is to insert this onto the right-hand side, push it in. So when we put our saw onto the guide rail, we just need to make sure that that is in contact with the material while we're cutting. So now we can make the first cut, and what we'll achieve is a fine splinter-free cut on both sides of our material. With the Festool TS55, we have variable speed control. So no matter what type of material or the density of the material that we're using, we can adapt the speed of the machine to suit the material that's being cut. So for chipboard that's veneered, then we're going to set it on speed 5, and we can make a nice, consistent, easy progress through the cut without any damage or burning of the material. So the first cut, right from when the first use of our machine, it means we can achieve an edge which is of very high quality. And as soon as we can achieve a high quality cut with the machine, it means that we can then make rapid progress with the work that we carry out. So they are the initial stages of setting up a TS55R, and in subsequent presentations we'll go through some other applications for this machine. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. My name's Phil. Goodbye.